world of sports, eh?
Oh, he's copped a head right to the nuts. Tedesco's butt crack.
Ahoy!
He's nearly taken security's head off.
I have no idea what the wasted world of sports is.
Western World of Sports, ahoy! Welcome back. For those of you who were here for the Super Rugby Pacific semi-finals, of course. First Super Rugby Pacific semi-final. The Blues, the home side, got the biscuits there. I'm checking out the game before this one, and of course, Ricky's Green Goblins, they've been smacked back down to earth just like I predicted. My night has started extremely well, 2 for 2 in the tipping if we cross codes. The Cowboys over Ricky's Green Goblins. It's all good, Dan Jam. It's all good, mate. They're still going to be a bottom 3 side. So, I'm more than happy. Wigan, Latik, ahoy, mate. I've gone the Rabbitohs in this one. I'm all in on the bunnies. You'll expect the rum in the post. Nice. I think it'd be much easier for me to just transfer money across via PayPal or something than... I actually have no idea how long it might take to post a bottle of rum. We should try it. I know there's been a few situations in the past when we were doing a UFC stream. Last year, I think it was. Last year, somebody was actually investigating, sending over to me some of the Conor McGregor whiskey. I think it's whiskey, yes, Conor McGregor's brew. And I can't remember, it just there were a whole bunch of... There was a whole bunch of things. There was a whole lot of reasons, actually, as to why that didn't happen. There is a lot of red tape and a lot of border security issues, I think. Wigan Latik says, same Broncos, not the same without Walsh and Reynolds. DJ Shack says, are you absolutely sure? Every time I say it, yep, absolutely sure. Like, my whole reason for predicting the Raiders to be as far down the table as I did in the preseason was because of their draw at the back end. Now, I give credit where credit is due. The Raiders have done way better than I anticipated to start the season. But that's been on the back of some teams that I expected to improve, like Tigers, the Knights, the Rabbitohs, who are playing tonight. These are teams that I and the Warriors as well, who have started very slow. Game of Mel, ahoy there, by the way. Some of the teams that I had sort of thought preseason, without having seen a single game, that would be above the Raiders have actually come out and beat, and all those teams are coincidentally enough at the moment down the bottom of the table. So it's really surprising, but the real stuff starts now for the Raiders, and it was always going to be the case. So they have won those games against the teams that I expected to improve this year that haven't, but their big games are coming up. Like, they basically haven't played anybody in the top 8. They've had a really, really easy draw so far. They've got coming up in consecutive weeks. I'm just going blind off the top of my head at the moment, but they've got coming up games pretty much in a row against Storm. The Panthers are coming up. They've still got the Sharks to go again. the Roosters, Rabbitohs, Eels, like all the bigger name teams. Broncos are coming up. And a game against the Tigers and a game against the Dragons scattered in between. So I've always felt that the back end of the season is where the Raiders will really capitulate. But look, credit to them for doing what they've done so far. But I stand by my decision that they are. I think they're safe from the wooden spoon, but they'll still be a bottom 3 finish. I stand by that. Robert M. Ahoy, mate. Robert M. has got a feeling the Broncos will fire in this one. Be interesting to see how Sailor goes at fullback tonight. Well, I've got a theory. Speaking about firing, I've got a theory of my own, Robert M., as to why I think the Broncos are in a little bit of trouble tonight. Because I think Latrell and Cody, now that there's just that little sniff at those Origin jerseys, I think Latrell and Cody come out and have a blinder, win Origin jumpers, and then go back to sucking afterwards. So it should be an interesting one nonetheless. I feel like Latrell's just going to eat up all this hype and attention around him at the moment and fire. All right, Raiders don't play the Broncos again. Yeah, no worries. As I said, I was just sort of going blind from memory. But I know that the Raiders have pretty much, apart from the Tigers and the Dragons, it's pretty much all top 8 teams now that they play for the rest of the season. So their back end of the season was always going to be difficult, which is why I had them finishing and still have them finishing so low on the table. But a team that could certainly go on a run are the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Cameron Murray back tonight. That's a big one for them. And yes, Latrell, I'll keep an eye on Latrell tonight. I really do think he will eat up all this media hype and attention, and he will come out and have a blinder tonight. And here come the Broncos out onto the field. Ready for this game, South Sydney Rabbitohs, Brisbane Broncos. The poll, the Waste of World of Sports poll, is pretty torn at the moment. 27 votes, 56% to the Bunnies, 44% to the Show Ponies. And I think that this game will be as close as the poll suggests. Could go absolutely either way. Payne in the Haas wearing the beanie. They should play in the beanies. Honestly, they should play in the beanies. It'll be hilarious. Bonus points at the end of the match to anyone who still has the beanie on. Doesn't fall off naturally throughout the course of the game. Robert M., you've tipped the Broncos here based on what we've seen in the second round. I've gone Rabbitohs just based on what we've seen in recent weeks. But I wouldn't be surprised if either team won. Well, someone's got to win, don't they? Unless it's a draw, but that's unlikely. Talk about sitting on the fence. I know, but yeah, look, I wouldn't be surprised either way. No matter who wins this game, I'm not going to walk away and say that was an upset. I think this is a true 50-50 match. As it looks like rain tumbling down. It'll be interesting to know who that favours. I mean, the rain's probably ballsed up my multi. I've got a lot of try scorers sitting there. And they're all backs. So I think I've now got no chance of this multi paying off. But oh well. Ray C, ahoy there, mate. As we're ready for kickoff in this one. Broncos, Rabbitohs, potential match of the round. Fingers crossed it will live up to expectations. Not much of a turnout again. Geez, some of these crowds at a core stadium, right? Some of these crowds at a core stadium have been disappointing. Now, obviously, it is spewing down rain, which would account for some of it. But, I mean, we see it sometimes in fine conditions as well. Michelle, ahoy there. Michelle not joining us tonight for a Broncos game because she thought it was not even on tonight, partially. This is a good set from the Broncos. From the kickoff, Pat Carrigan up over the halfway line. 40 out from the line here, the Broncos. Madden will put the kick in. And Mitchell's under it for the Rabbitohs. And that's big defense, driving the Bunnies backwards. Richard Trainer says, for the first time in my life, I've taken the Bunnies. I don't know how I feel about this. Fifth and last for the Rabbitohs. Up over halfway they go. Styler, ahoy, mate. And Lyrics, ahoy. Short side they go for the kick. Whiten puts it high. Taken by Tristan Saylor. I can't help but notice that Tristan Saylor has the hair's a little bit different tonight. As he spills the ball. An early mistake from Tristan Saylor. We were talking about how he needs a good game because he was a bit flaky last week. And he comes up with an error on his first touch tonight. Golden opportunity here for the Rabbitohs. Styler says we have the same people in our multis. Nice. Yes, I've gone the Big D, Latrell, Cody and AJ. Gagai corn on the Cobbo. And here is AJ. 10 metres out from the line. Full set of 6 here for the Bunnies. Terrible service from dummy half there. They get a set restart though. Zastavelli, ahoy there. Whiten straightens up, comes back towards the post. Tackle 2. First opportunity of the game here to South Sydney. Kepi brought down a couple of metres short of the line. Cook fires it out to the left. Kalamatangi goes on his own. Couple of tackles left. Cook to Walker. Puts the kick in behind the line. And Tristan Saylor's there to tap it dead. It's a result for the Rabbitohs. It's a good start for them. Broncos under pressure early. Madden with the short restart. And it's lost forward by the Bunnies, I think. No, says the referee. Tapped backwards by the Broncos and into Rabbitohs' hands. So they have the ball back. South Sydney, 10 out from the line. Kepi is tackled in midfield. To the left they go. Walker, inside run for Jai Arrow, who beats 1, beats 2, links up with Latrell, and Latrell is a metre short. And he's lost the ball. That's a mistake early now from Latrell. Both fullbacks have started this game very poorly. Asher Watson. That'll be a question for Michelle, the Metal Maiden, in the chat room there. Brisbane or St Kilda. Will either of them win in the AFL? Who will win? 20 out from their own line now, the Broncos. They've survived that early raid. And it remains 0-0. Big defense, though, from the Bunnies. Look for an early kick on this set, perhaps. Jordan Ricky, 40 out from their own line. The Bronx. Payne in the Haas. Nowhere to go. Manages to beat Kepi and go up over halfway. Good dart there from Payne in the Haas. Short side they go to Jock Madden. Puts it high. It's contestable. Johnston's under it. Takes it for the Rabbitohs. 6 minutes gone. 0-0. DJ Shack, you've got some topics that you'd love to discuss with the old Panther on Sunday. Can we chat about that post-game? Sure. Absolutely no problem at all. Michelle, you've got a multi. Latrell, Corn on the Cobbo, AJ, and Mam. As the Rabbitohs look to spread it wide to the right-hand edge. Fifth and last. Just shy of halfway. And Latrell in to do the kicking again. It's high. No pressure on Sailor at the back. But he is met well and now driven backwards in a three-man tackle. And the Broncos will start about 12 out from their own line. Good defense there from the Rabbitohs. Mam in a dummy half. Patricia Carrigan up to halfway. On tackle 4, plays the ball to nobody, but Billy Walters ends up getting there. Finds a little bit of space around the ruck. Well defended in the end, scrambling with South Sydney. Madden again on that far side. Contestable kick goes up. It's tapped down by the Broncos, and now space opens up for Latrell. It's Latrell versus Tristan Sailor, and Latrell wins. He's on the outside. Jordan Ricky comes back at him and brings him down. What a kick return from Latrell Mitchell, though. South Sydney with huge front foot ball. Numbers out to the right. If they can spread it, they get a set restart. 5 out from the line. Oh, they must score, the Rabbitohs. They must. From dummy half and going on his own, close to the line. Cheekham. You thought they were on for all money there, Souths. Still got tackles up their sleeve. Kepi, he's been very heavily involved in this opening 10 minutes. Galaumatangi in at first receiver. Out the back to Walker. Walker's got nowhere to go. Well wrapped up. Fifth and last. Oh, the Rabbitohs. You feel like they left one out there. Cook puts the kick in. Not played out by the Broncos. That'll still be fifth and last. And this will be the handover. A metre short from the line. Well defended from Brisbane. Extremely good defence on their own goal line. South Sydney, you feel like they butchered this. And now they give away a penalty. The Broncos with the penalty. That's got to be a lift for the visitors. And they can start this set now. Corn on the Cobbo. 45 out from his own line. Tackle 1. They've held on there, the Broncos, and got a good piggyback upfield. Souths, I feel like it was... you can't say that it was a straight-out butchering of a try, but they certainly had a golden opportunity they didn't explore. Billy Walters now into space again up the middle. A set restart. What a turnaround in momentum this would be. Pain in the Haas, 10 out from the line. Walters looks for another set restart. Gets the offload back to Madden. Madden sums up his options and for some reason decides the kick is the way to go on tackle 1. And Alex Johnston is very easily back to secure that ball. Why would you kick through on tackle 1? Alex Johnston was always going to be first man back to that loose ball. And now a penalty just to compound that issue. A piggyback upfield for the Bunnies this time. Both teams in this first 11 minutes leaving opportunities out there. Is Reynolds gone for the season? I don't think so. He'll be back, I mean, at least in time for the finals. And the Broncos will be in the finals. Don't you worry about that, Broncos fans. I mean, short of just completely self-destructing at some point. I'm not used to wearing beanies. Short of completely self-destructing, the Broncos will be there at the end of the season in the playoffs. It's just a matter of what position they'll be in. Provided we make it. Jeez. Cook from dummy half that opens up for him and he scores the first try. Damien Cook. That's something we haven't seen from him in a long, long time. Damien Cook exploiting the space around the ruck. 4 points to 0. The kick to come from right beside the posts. That's the Damien Cook of old. He's turning back the clock, looking for a new contract is what he's doing. I've heard that the Dragons, it might have been that threw an offer at him, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's been a staple of the game so far, DJ Shaq, in these very early stages. Billy Walters has found a lot of space around the ruck, and now this time Damien Cook. 6 points to 0 with Latrell Mitchell's conversion. And a good start here for South Sydney. I think both teams are really finding some space around the edges of the ruck. Six points to 0. South Sydney on the back of the Cowboys earlier tonight, absolutely pumping the Raiders on their home turf. And surprisingly, we haven't seen Surprisingly, we haven't seen UFC OnlyFans back. Nate from We Are Family. Ahoy, mate. Oh, sloppy play the ball there from Sean Kepi. And the Broncos get presented an opportunity right on the back of points. Souths have handed it straight back. Scrum down, 10 meters out. Broncos ball. To the left they go. Ezra Mam in at first receiver. Goes on his own. Tackle 1, 10 out. Piacora. A couple of meters out from the line. Here's Carrigan to Madden. Through the hands now. Sailor to Tags. Tags out to the Big D. And he's brought down 5 out from the line on tackle 3. Sailor in at first receiver. And now the ball is spilt by Jordan Ricky. I think that was, yes, Jordan Ricky. In the conditions, it can be forgiven, but really, mistakes like that should not be happening. Even in the conditions, that was a simple catch. Six points to nil and off the hook there, South Sydney. They'll have the scrum down their own feed, 15 out from their own line. They're all lined up to the left, but they go right, trying to catch the Broncos' defence napping. But nothing doing there with Richie Kenner. And a penalty to the Rabbitohs. Broncos up inside the 10. And it's another piggyback upfield. Who was that there up inside the 10? I think it was Josiah Korpaklani. DJ Shack says, Arrow looking to stir the pot. No, surely not. Jai Arrow would never, ever, ever stir the pot. Yes, indeed. Jai Arrow, one of the all-time great chirpers on the field. 30 out from the line now. The Rabbitohs. Walker out the back to Latrell. Looks to throw the miracle ball, but does well to restrain himself and hold on there. $20 out from the line. Walker. Cut out pass right onto the chest of Gagai, who slips. And Ezra Mam's able to jump on top of him and make the tackle. Fifth and last. Walker now. Puts it in beside the post. The Rabbitohs are up and win the chase to the ball, or the contest in the air. And Kalau Matangi comes down with it. And it's another try for the Rabbitohs. 10 points to nil, kick to come. And once again, 2 tries. I've got 1, 2, 4. I've got 6 potential try scorers in my multi. 2 tries down, not a single tick yet. 10 points to Zippo. And this should be a simple conversion for Latrell. Slow start here for the Broncos. As the try is confirmed. Wigan Lutic, you had 15 euros. Is that euros? 15 euros on Cowboys Rabbitohs. Returns 80 euro. Or is that pounds? 15 pounds. To return 80 pounds. From just to the left of the post, Latrell makes no mistake, as you would expect. And it's the Rabbitohs leading 12 points to nil. Wasted World of Sports tipping contest. I have extended my lead out in front. Seems like a lot of people went the Raiders to beat the Cowboys. Not me. I went the Cowboys. And I'm reaping the rewards. I've re-extended my lead out in front of the Wasted World of Sports tipping contest. Oh, Malcolm asking who I've got for the Warriors versus Storm. Good question. Nicole Payne, ahoy. How are you tonight, Nicole? Quick play the ball here for Souths, and they have charged up to the halfway line. Solid set of 6 there after points, leading 12 points to 0. Latrell in midfield puts it high. Under it awkwardly and spilling it is Corn on the Cobbo. And it's another mistake here in the wet conditions. Corn on the Cobbo spills it forward. Latrell is definitely staking his claim here for Origin duty, just on the back of, I can't help but notice that he started kicking in general play. I honestly don't remember him really doing this, with this sort of regularity. It's just another little feather in his cap to make a statement for Blues selection, which honestly, I've got to say, I wouldn't be picking him. But I'm just saying, it's obvious that that he is in line for a call-up, and having general play kicking as an option to go on top of everything else is certainly something. I can't help but notice that he's been doing that in recent weeks. I've already given her a Ahoy. Ahoy again, Nicole. How are you? 5 out from the line. Rabbitohs with numbers out to the left, but Latrell does it on his own. This audition is going extremely well. Have yourself a beer there on me, Latrell, because there's a tick off the multi. 16 points to 0. And we finally get a leg of the multi done and dusted. 21 minutes gone, and it is all South Sydney. I was just saying, Nicole, Adrian said that you were waiting for me to say hi, but I said I've already done it. That's all. Malcolm says the Warriors usually do well at home, apart from that Titans game, and they usually do well against the Storm. If there's one team in the competition that fairly consistently plays well against the Storm, it's the Warriors, isn't it? Even if they don't win, they push them to the limit. Latrell puts this one straight down the middle. And it's 18 points to 0. The James says Latrell for PM and the Blues. Quentin Paul, Latrell for a New South Wales jersey. Give me $5, ahoy, mate. Wow, Souths are winning games halfway through the season. As the Broncos get us back underway, trailing by 3 converted tries now. A quarter of the way through this contest. Sports, baby. Ahoy there. Oh, Sports Baby with the Air Jordan in the avatar, it looks like. Kalaumatangi into contact here for Souths. Leading by 3 converted tries. They've started this game very well. Wesley Marimar, Latrell for Blues selection as they kick early here. Souths on tackle 4, looking for a 40-20, but Tristan Saylor gets back, gathers the ball. Broncos. It's been a while, but they've finally got their hands on it. 30 out from their own line on tackle 2. Racing up was Damien Cook on Corn on the Cobbo. Helped by a slip. This is big defense from the home side. Payne in the Haas. Takes it up towards halfway on the 5th and last. Ezra Mann with the kick. Into the corner. He finds grass. Latrell, a real lack of urgency to get across to that ball, but that's because he backed himself, I suppose, running back into contact. Cameron Murray's on the field. How good is it to see Cameron Murray back? I mean, whoever you go for, it's good to see superstar players back on the field as Jai Arrow is caught on tackle 4. He looks gassed already, Cameron Murray. He has been out for a while, in fairness. Fifth and last here for the Rabbitohs. The kick from Jack Whiten off the left boot. It's a massive kick. Lots of pressure there on Tristan Saylor. Not kick chase pressure, but just pressure to catch the ball. And he's done well. Considering he's made a couple of mistakes already in this game, he's done extremely well to take that one. Josiah Korpaklani with the hit up. Sports Baby, thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciate it. Cameron Murray's been out injured, Michelle, for weeks. This is his first night back for about 6 or 7 rounds. That's why he wasn't in conversation for Blues selection. Fifth and last hit for the Broncos. The kick is high down to AJ's wing, and Alex Johnston takes it well in the face of the chasing Jordan Riki. And this is big defense now from the Broncos, trying to wrestle some momentum back, doing it through their defense. Xavier Willison there with Billy Walters, keeping the Rabbitohs pinned down their own end. Tackle 4, they've only just got to the 20-metre line. This is good defense from the Broncos. Cook from dummy half, spotted half a gap. Fifth and last. Latrell puts it high. It's another high looping kick. Pressure on this take, and the big D spills it backwards. I'm surprised that wasn't called a knock on the way it's been going tonight. The Broncos forwards very slow to get back here. Caught on the Cobbo. So Swipe says, I want Herbie Farnworth back. I said at the time, interesting you say that, So Swipe. I said at the time, Herbie Farnworth, his loss is going to be huge. And speaking of loss, caught on the Cobbo, loses the ball forward, and Souths have it back. Cody Walker takes the 0 tackle. I feel like Flegler and Farnworth were 2 big losses, and Kurt Capewell as well. Those were 3 losses to the squad that cannot be underestimated. Katoni Tags puts on a big tackle there on Whiten. Fifth and last now for Souths. 20 out from the line. Whiten dinks it in over the top. It's contestable, but Tristan Saylor comes forward and takes it. Hey, Michelle, were you here the night we were talking about NBA Jam? I think you might have been. One of my all-time favorite video games, arcade games, NBA Jam. Oh, Latrell's down on his haunches in back play. We'll keep an eye on that. He's holding his ribs, and straight through the middle goes Xavier Willison. He's got support from Ezra Mam on the inside. Links up with him, and a great chase from Gagai. Ezra Mam spills the ball, a try saver from Jacob Gagai. The Broncos had scored for all money there. Big Xavier Willison did everything right. But Jacob Gagai showing the pace. Souths defend that extremely well. But some positive signs there for the Broncos. That opened up in the middle way too easily. Murray to the line. Dummies. Gets the offload back to Cook. Jai Arrow runs back towards midfield. Fifth and last now for Souths. 30 out. Latrell puts it high. Pressure on this take again. They've let it bounce, the Broncos. And they come away with the ball. "30 minutes gone." This half is raced by. It really doesn't feel like... Excuse me, it really doesn't feel like 30 minutes. Jerry Cap, thank you very much for the sub. Oh, that's a high shot there. This will be a penalty to the Broncos. Richie Kenner knows it as well. Well, I think it was Richie Kenner. He's just hung a lazy arm out there. And he's chopped corn on the Cobbo right across the face. Oh, Indiana Pacers. Reggie Miller. Yes, the three-point machine. Oh, we've got a little bit of an issue here. Richie Kenner could be sitting down for 10. Yes, he is. Richie Kenner is spending 10 in the bin for that high contact on corn on the Cobbo. Is this the turning point in the game? Souths will go into half-time. The only one I know from the Pacers, yeah. I only know potentially like 2 players from each team, and that's the NBA Jam roster. I've also got in pristine condition in the other room, Michelle. I've got the NBA Jam board game. We should play it on stream one night. Corn on the Cobbo, off for a HIA. Yeah, but I'm in the board game. I'm talking about the board game now. Carrigan gets himself all tangled up. They're 10 out from the line. Smoothie to Madden. Out to Piacora. Oh, Cobbo's off for a HIA because of that high contact. The high shot that got Kenner sent for 10. Cobbo's had to come off for a HIA. Fifth and last. Out to the left, they go to Mam. To Gozlowski. To Korpaklani. And Josiah Korpaklani is caught. And that will be a handover. Fifth and last. Well defended by the Rabbitohs. A man down. Ezra Mam looks a little bit off the pace tonight. He has a tendency to do this, doesn't he? Ezra Mam, Reece Walsh, like the Broncos have got some players that are very rocks or diamonds, huh? Ezra Mam just a little bit off the pace tonight at the moment. Souths, they will slow this game right down now and run out the clock until halftime as best they can. Whiten from just outside the 40. The Big D's back to take it on the full. Beautiful chasing line from the Rabbitohs, though. Through the hands now, trying to exploit the extra man. And the Broncos find some space down that left edge. Korpiklani steps back in field. The Rabbitohs defense scrambles across and shuts it down, though. Tackle 3 now. Broncos inside South's territory. And they get a set restart. That's tackle 1. Carrigan will play it in midfield. 35 out, the Broncos. Sailor. Now, the Big D into space. Beats 1, steps back in field. And the Big D's brought down. 20 out. That's tackle 2. Tackles up the sleeve here for the Broncos. Hetherington's on. And he charges forward on his own. 10 out from the line now. 3 tackles gone. Smoothie to Madden to Mam with the Harbour Bridge pass out to Korpiklani, who steps back in field. Well tackled, though, from Gagai. And he's lost the ball now, Korpiklani. And Latrell Mitchell comes away with it. Although it's called a knock-on. Double knock-on, is it? Or just a single knock-on against Souths? Referee Adam G. Latrell's come in. And a one-on-one strip there from Latrell. Well, surely he was held. That was surely held before Latrell strips this ball out. Both knees are on the ground. Contact from the other player on the leg has now let go. Latrell rips at it, but surely held at that point. And this, you would think, will be a penalty to the Broncos. I think Gagai has released, but surely the tackle is deemed completed there. We're playing on. I would have thought with both knees on the ground and the player wrapped up that would have been held, tackle completed. But anyway, I guess I'm on a completely different wavelength to referee Adam G tonight. And Souths have a successful challenge and they have the ball. Well, it wasn't a two-man tackle at the time that the strip happened, but I certainly do believe that the tackle had been completed. And now a penalty just to compound things for the Broncos. I'm fine with the strip itself. It was clearly one-on-one. But I would have said that the tackle was completed. I mean, the player had both knees on the ground. No forward momentum. If that's not tackle completed, I don't know what is. Up towards halfway. On the back of that penalty. Jai Arrow. They're up around his neck, and he's not going to like that, and he certainly doesn't. Jai Arrow is starting to flare up. 6 again for the Rabbitohs. Cameron Murray goes straight through and then loses it. And that'll be play on. That was straight off a set restart. Cameron Murray makes the mistake. And the Broncos have it back. Tackle 1 now just short of halfway. Hetherington on a good charge. Emmanuel Bendo. Ahoy there. Can you update me with the Bitwing Raiders versus Cowboys half-time score? I can do better than that. I can tell you the full-time score. Or do you specifically want to know the half-time score? At halftime, I think the Cowboys were leading 22-0. That's straight through. Goes. Somebody from the Broncos. Passes it inside to Ezra Mam, who's unmarked, but it's been called forward. They were lined up to the left here, the Broncos. Ma'am, to Tristan Saylor it was. And Saylor's gone through and thrown it about 42 metres forward to Ezra Mam. And the referee was right on the spot to get that one right. The irony is, if the Broncos had their regular fullback available, I guarantee that wouldn't have been called a forward pass. They're really missing Reece Walsh tonight, the Broncos, because Reece Walsh never gets done for a forward pass, even if it's about 15 metres. Yes, so sorry, Emmanuel. 22-0, I believe it was, at halftime in favour of the Cowboys, and the Cowboys went on to beat the Raiders by 34 points to 16. Up over halfway now. Go the Rabbitohs. Trying to get themselves into halftime with Richie Kenner in the sin bin without any points damage. Burgess. .30 out. Here's Walker. Links up with Cheekham. Cheekham goes through. Needed support. Mitchell back on the inside. It goes Cook, loses it backwards. Play on. Cheekham dives on it. Fifth and last for Souths. No, knocked on. Knock on is the call. Or just a turnover. I don't know. Broncos had the ball either way from that scenario. A minute and a half to go until the halftime break. Broncos still with donuts on the board at the moment as Ezra Mam takes tackle 4 on the halfway line. Carrigan with some serious go forward. That's a huge run from Pat Carrigan. Fifth and last. Madden steps back into the middle of the field, puts the kick in, looking for space, finds it, and Gagai's back and gets back to the field to play Gagai. Excellent work there from Jacob Gagai. And it's looking like Souths will take this 3 converted try lead into the break with just 40 seconds left. The Broncos might get one last play. Fifth and last here. Souths keep it low, looking for the sideline. Well, it's gone about 44 metres over the sideline on the full. And the Broncos, they will get one play. One play here to make something. 25 out from South's line. About 15 in from touch. They go short side. Mam pops it up to Piakora. Keeps the ball alive. Korpaklani. And there's about 42. That's my favourite number tonight, apparently. There's a large number of South's jerseys there to make the tackle. And Souths will go into the break, leading 18 points to 0. They couldn't have asked for a better start, Souths. Well, they could have. They could have not had a man in the sin bin for 10 minutes. That would have been nice for them. Wow. 18 points to 0. Look, I tipped the Rabbitohs, and I expected the Rabbitohs to potentially win, but I'd be lying if I said that it would be this comfortable the way that it's going at the moment. They are well and truly up for this one, the Bunnies. 18 points to 0 at halftime. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, Rugby League pledge. What's that all about? Anyway, we'll find out after the break. Halftime here, 18 points to 0. South Sydney doing a number on the Broncos at the moment. Halftime, a quick break for myself. Be right back after this on the Wasted World of Sports, and we'll dissect just what in the hell is going on out there. Right after the break.
Hello? There's a bomb in the glove box.
Boobies. You sound insane. Do you realize that? You should be medicated.
What the hell? I'm a girl with a beard? All right, Wasted World of Sports halftime here. 18 points to nil in favour of the South Sydney Rabbitohs. You know it's halftime because Hamish McKenzie is lurking about in the chat room and playing soundboards on Discord. It's been a solid game so far from Souths. They've really turned a corner. A very slow start to the season, obviously. State the obvious there. South's off to a very slow start. You just get that feeling. I've had that feeling about them for recent weeks. Just they could go on a run. Here, South Sydney. They could go on an absolute run, and they'll find themselves well and truly in contention for the top 8 at the end of the year. Hamish, what? I would never do that. Oi, what are you up to? Hey, what's going on over there, eh? There is nothing over there for you, sir. Nothing over there for you, good sir. 18 points to nil. Try scorers. Latrell Mitchell.
Boobies.
Sports baby, you're going to go get yourself a what? There's a territorial dispute going on over here. A turf war of the four-legged kind. Frank, welcome back. In time for the 18-0 drubbing that we're seeing so far here on the Wasted World of Sports. What's an Ahoy bowl? Pardon my ignorance, but yeah, I don't know anything that. Dan trying to pronounce it. Yeah, I don't know anything that doesn't involve ridiculous amounts of dripping, like make the bag see-through oil and meat on meat with double cheese, triple cheese, double mayo, like all the sorts of things that you would associate with somebody who is Jack Black's doppelganger. Wigan Lutic says, do you want to become a pro sports commentator one day, or you do this just for fun? Great job either way. Well, I do it just for fun, Wigan, because there's a few reasons why I would never make it on television. The first reason, the channel is called Wasted World of Sports, so the first reason's probably pretty obvious. But the second reason is I am too opinionated. Is that the word? I'm too opinionated. Opinionative. what's the word? So I'm not going to. There's clearly a lot of. Okay, for example, there's a very well-known story that the Old Panther shares about the cricket in the cricket commentary. I can't remember who it was, but in the cricket commentary, in the early days of the World Series cricket, and one of the commentators said, "Well, this game's over," basically, and there was still like 20 overs or something left in the run chase, and somebody said, "Well, this game's over," and apparently Murdoch absolutely tore shreds off the guy for saying what was clearly true. The game was clearly over, and the commentator said it's over. Murdoch's absolutely torn shreds of him, because if you let the audience know the game's over, they're going to tune out. They're going to switch off their TVs. And see, I couldn't ever be controlled by that sort of directive, if you know what I mean. And the agenda, the clear agenda that Fox Sports and stuff like that has on certain players. I mean, there's certain players out there, Reece Walsh, you can't say a thing negative about. You're not allowed to say anything negative about the guy. You bring up the deficiencies in his game. Oh, he's only young. He's just young. He's got a lot of upside. It's like, well, yeah, maybe so. Maybe he does. But he just doesn't have it at the moment. He's not worth the way that they build him up. So all those sorts of things, I wouldn't last very long. I would not last very long on television at all. So yeah, there's a few reasons. And also, like, sometimes I just can't be bothered. Like, imagine having to try and get yourself up for a game against Tigers versus the Titans, say. No offense to fans of either of those teams, but how am I supposed to stand there for 2 hours and call the Who Cares Cup between the Tigers and the Titans and keep it interesting? Anyway, Richard Trainer says, you and I would be awesome calling games. You've got years of playing and watching, and you're very opinionated as well. Well, Richard Trainer, Wasted World of Sports membership, the channel membership does offer a higher tier where you do get to come on and co-host a game of your choice for as long as you're a channel member. Just saying. It's very rare that I actually advertise our own stuff. So I thought I'd throw that out there. There is the co-hosting option in the Wasted World of Sports channel memberships, as the second half is ready to get underway here. Cobbo has obviously passed his HIA because he's back out there for the second half. And Souths will have first use of the ball. And also, I couldn't get hired by Channel 9 because, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'd be reported to HR pretty quickly, being in the same room as Alana Ferguson. I'm just going to say that. Straight to HR with you, sir. Latrell Mitchell with the ball in midfield, puts it high. And Corn on the Cobbo takes it, retreats backwards, shrugs off the first tackle, gets through Richie Kenner, but spills the ball in the process. It was a great kick return in the makings from Corn on the Cobbo, but he just forgot to take the ball all the way with him. Shrugs off Gagai. Gets through Richie Kenner, but then spills the ball. Great effort, though, from Corn on the Cobbo. Frank says, you reckon Latrell will book his spot in State of Origin? Honestly, I wouldn't pick him regardless. I honestly wouldn't. But I suppose it's looking more and more likely, isn't it? Whiten, dummies, goes on his own. Souths have the ball. 15 out from the Broncos line. Well, a little bit further than that. Souths through Walker to Whiten. Throws the looping pass out to Alex Johnston, who has to cut back in field. As the Broncos defense slides across and shuts down that play. Burgess in midfield. Fifth and last. 5 out from the line. Cook to Whiten. Whiten spills the ball. And that is a very scrappy last tackle play for the Raiders, I nearly said, for the Rabbitohs. Frank says, is it Dan? I always called you World of, because I don't know the name. Yeah, that's fine. Dan is the name. Rodney Rapper. Hey, Rodney Rapper, you're not Rod Eels, are you, by any chance? In the Wasted World of Sports tipping contest? Nipping at my heels there in second place? I'm trying to track down if the Rod Eels in the tipping contest is actually regularly part of the streams or not. Fifth and last here for the Broncos. They put the kick down. Latrell's under it. Lets it bounce behind him. Did he get hands on it? No, he didn't. And this will be a 7-tackle set for the Bunnies. Don't forget, after the stream tonight, we'll hang out for a little bit at the request of DJ Shaq for some post-stream chats and get some topics ready for Sunday with the Old Panther. Souths, they'll be back to a full complement now. Obviously. It's all right, Michelle. Everyone needs the... Latrell almost gets on the outside. Every commentary team needs the the bad guy quote. Every commentary team needs the Gus Gould that that people like to hang shit on for some reason or another. 10 out from the line here. 6 again for the Rabbitohs. They could really drive the dagger in here. Cook in at first receiver to Burgess. Burgess rocked backwards in the tackle. In front of the post here. 10 out on tackle 3. Cook to Duncan, who goes close. Tackle 4. The Broncos just defending. Walker bobbles the ball. Gets it off to Whiten. 5th and last now. 10 out. The Broncos repelling the attack with ease at the moment. Cook to Murray. Murray will go on his own, and that's a very... Oh, don't tell me they got another set restart. No. That's now 5th and last. The tackle count was just ahead of the actual game time. And Ezra Mam has done extremely well there to collect the ball on the ground, on his back, and push forward with his feet into the play-in area and avoid a goal line dropout. Amazing effort. They're under the pump, though, on the back of this. The Broncos, 5th and last now, only up to their own 30-metre line. And it goes to Ezra Mam for the kick, and he's made a solid purchase on it. But taken on the full at the back, and Latrell Mitchell has it for Souths. Still on the attack in Broncos territory. The Broncos, I mean, honestly, you can't put their recent weeks down to Reynolds. Oh, the early kick, and it's been wrangled in by Madden. Jock Madden in the slips with a great reflex catch. Yeah, honestly, for the Broncos, you can't put this down to... you can't put this down to... what's his face? Reynolds. You can't put it down to Reynolds and Reece Walsh being out of the squad the way that they've been going in recent weeks. Oh, and now a spilt ball out on the wing. It's just not happening tonight for Brisbane. Korpaklani spills it. It'll be a scrum down here to Souths. Souths on the back of that scrum have tackle 4 through Burgess. 22 out from the Broncos line. Cook to Duncan. Here's Walker out the back to Latrell. Cut out pass to Alex Johnston. And Alex Johnston will score in the corner. It's another tick off the multi. Have yourself a beer on me. Alex Johnston is over. It's 22 points to 0. Cody Walker to Latrell. Latrell summed it up perfectly. He is passing this audition, Latrell. Look, I wouldn't have put him there, in all honesty. I would not have him in the Blues squad, but you certainly can't argue that the past couple of weeks, he has definitely stepped up a gear. $22 points to 0. Kick to come from out wide. South Sydney. This is a real statement victory for them as well. Well, they haven't won yet. Let's not get too carried away. They haven't won this game yet. There's plenty of time left. Mitchell hooks it horribly. And it remains 22-0. But Alex Johnston's on the score sheet. 2 legs of the multi down. We need the big D. We need Gagai or corn on the Cobbo. There's still time. I better end the poll as well. People can't come in and vote for the bunnies now. Not many Souths fans in the chat. Have you noticed that, Dan? DJ Shack, one thing that always surprises me is look at the history of Wasted World of Sports, right? In the 3 seasons now that we've been doing this has been the 3rd season. But in the 3rd season, look at the teams that I have disliked, shall we say? Teams that I have sort of purposely been against, shall we say, DJ Shack? and think about who those teams are, right? I would say that there's actually more. No, hate with a passion is you with Melbourne, Michelle. That's what I describe hate with a passion. I don't have anybody like that, in fairness, apart from the Australian cricket team. And we don't even cover that here. So, yeah, it's interesting that those teams, most of the subscribers are made up from supporters of those teams. I don't quite understand it myself. I don't really understand how that's worked out, but yes, it seems like the most support for this channel does majority come from those fan bases for whatever reason. Anyway, Broncos, they've got a chance to attack here, and it opens up for Tags, and Tags falls over in a desperation tackle. 5th and last, they're 25 out here. Brisbane, Madden puts it high into the corner, and Souths come down with it. The Broncos didn't even contest that. Speaking of the Australian cricket team, I don't know how plausible it is because of the time differential, but I was considering some of the T20 World Cup. I'm struggling to see how that's plausible, though, unless I take some time off work, which the boss would be extremely happy about. Yeah, mate, yep, can't come in today. Nah, I'm going to be sitting up calling the cricket. 5th and last here for the Bunnies. The kick from inside the 40. No threat of a 40-20, but the big D does spill it backwards and has to go back and collect the loose ball. They've really struggled under the high balls tonight, the Broncos. Yeah, definitely a large number of Warriors supporters, or just Kiwis in general as well. Here on the Wasters Water Sports is a 6 again for the Broncos. All right, they're starting to spring to life here. Kozlowski. Oh, I'll tell you what, sports baby. I was hanging out in Brisbane City one day on my lunch break from work, and Brett Lee and I want to say Stuart Clark. Was that his name? Stuart Clark, the other big pace bowler. And I tell you what, like, nobody was really harassing them or approaching them for autographs or anything, but talk about a couple of guys just hanging out in the city that stand out. Like, here's a couple of 14-foot tall fast bowlers. 2 big giraffes walking down the middle of Queen Street Mall in Brisbane City. They really stood out. Yeah, Brett Lee and Stuart Clark, I think it was, back in the day. Another mistake here for the Broncos on the attack. Oh, yeah, Stuart Clark was substantially taller, but Brett Lee was still a big boy. Just walking down Queen Street amongst the general public, he might have looked minuscule next to Big Clark, but I think that was his name, right? Stuart Clark. Nobody's corrected me yet, so it must be. Yeah, and it's fired up now in midfield. Latrell's in amongst it. Bring back the biff here on the halfway line. Both teams firing up here as emotions boil over. Oh, Jordan Ricky's just dropped the shoulder in off the ball on Cameron Murray, I think it was. Tackled on suspicion, and he's dropped the shoulder square into Cameron Murray, and Jordan Ricky could be in a little bit of trouble here. This has got to be 10 in the bin if there's consistency in the calls tonight. It'll be a penalty to the Rabbitohs. Cody Walker's pointing at the big screen. There's obviously a replay of the contact. Latrell's been sent for 10 for racing in and escalating the situation. You can't believe it. Well, if Latrell's getting 10 in the bin for that, then surely Ricky is a straight send-off. No, only 10 minutes. Well, tell me the difference. Only 10 in the bin here for Jordan Ricky. What was the difference between that and State of Origin, apart from the fact that unlike Reece Walsh, Cameron Murray didn't stay down and try and milk the send-off? The only difference is, and Cameron Murray wasn't even falling like Reece Walsh was. If Reece Walsh slipped any further into that Origin tackle, he would have been competing in the Olympic luge. He was so far down on his ass. Cameron Murray hadn't slipped at all and copped the shoulder to the face. And it's 10 in the bin. Go figure. But anyway, all we want as sports fans is consistency. And we never get it. We never, ever get it. But it is the Rabbitohs on the attack. Leading 22 points to nil. Latrell Mitchell in the bin. Jordan Ricky in the bin. And here come the Rabbitohs. Johnston goes on his own. 15 out. Well, a little bit closer than that. Geez, I'm doing terribly with these lines tonight. Probably because I've been doing the wrong kind of line. Cook puts the grubber kick in, and it's tapped down by the Broncos, and they secure the loose ball. They're still in it. I mean, honestly, they're still in it. There's still time. Mathematically, there is still time. 40 metres out from their own line. Corn on the Cobbo takes tackle 4. Smoothie runs across the face of the defence. 5th and last. Cobbo darts from dummy half. Links up with Mam. Mam puts the kick in. And it's taken by Alex Johnston, who was perfectly positioned back there. Great positioning from AJ. Oh, yeah, New Zealand are out. New Zealand have bottomed the table. Have they even won a game yet? The Kiwis? I don't think they have. I'm looking forward to seeing the uproar when Australia throw the game against Scotland. I can't wait for all the media surrounding that. And I'm not suggesting Australia will lose the game on purpose, but I am suggesting they will manipulate the net run rate. Oh, that's high contact from Tags on Cody Walker as well. They get away with that one. Broncos with the ball. The Big D beats one, beats two. Big D straight through. Needs support. Puts the kick in field. Looking for Mam. And they get a terrible bounce. And Souths come away with the loose ball. It was on there, though. I thought our multi was on there as well. The Big D was away down the sideline. Souths have done extremely well to get across there and cut that off. Don't be so naive, Michelle. Cricket is a very easy game to manipulate. A lot easier than any form of rugby. I mean, do not for 1 second even try and convince me that Pakistan did not have a boatload of money on the USA. I understand that Pakistan and Australia, different values, I suppose. Different sporting morals, but not by a lot. I wouldn't at all be surprised if it happens. Billy Walters opens it up, and the Broncos are starting to spring to life. And just as I say that, Jock Madden spills the ball in contact. Another mistake on the attack. Well, I actually think the Broncos have had the better of the second half in some respects. They're losing the ball as soon as they go into contact. Milne looks to get the arms free. Well wrapped up. 10 metres out. Now he spills the ball. Tane Milne. I mean, atrocious conditions out there. They're going to captain's challenge this, but to no avail, I would say. Atrocious conditions, in fairness, for both teams. And they're both making some simple mistakes. Tane Milne, I suppose, is hoping that the Broncos player, is that Tags in there holding on to him? He's hoping to get the call that he's held on to for too long. Unsuccessful challenge. And it is a knock-on. Broncos will have the ball back. Look, there's still 19 and a half minutes to go in this game. Do not get me wrong. The Broncos are looking extremely unlikely. But all I'm saying is, mathematically and time-wise, there is still a chance. Korpaklani Beats the first tackle. Still going. Korpiklani brought down by Gagai on the far sideline. Corn on the Cobbo now. Runs it to the line. Dummies. Goes on his own. The Red Knight, 47. What springs to mind, honestly? So Red Knight, 47, has said that last run from Mariner, the Big D, looked like he hit a stop sign. He should have just kept running instead of kicking it. If anyone's familiar with the movie Cool Runnings, the Disney film with John Candy about the Jamaican bobsled team, what springs to mind is the line from that movie where John Candy's character is talking about how quick these guys are. Some of these guys run the 100 in under whatever seconds. And the other guy, his mate that he's talking to, is like, yeah, but can lightning run on ice? Good question. The Big D, one of the fastest players in the game, but can he run on a swimming pool? Maybe that had something to do with it. He's not used to getting into full flight in these conditions. He didn't have the confidence in these conditions to go full pace. Souths with the ball back. Cook from dummy half. Takes tackle 4. Latrell Mitchell with 2.5 minutes left in the sin bin. And for the Broncos, Jordan Reiki, right? Whiten gets the kick in. Tristan Saylor runs forward. Oh, the lucky egg. Sanka. Sanka, that was his name, I think. Kiss my lucky egg. And Yul Brenner, the bald guy, is like, I ain't kissing no egg. Oh, I love that movie. I might watch it tonight. The pass out wide for the Broncos inside their own 10. Korpiklani has it. Bumps off one. He's still going. Korpiklani. What a big unit he is. What were the names? As Walters kicks from inside the 40. He's got good angle on it. 40-20's on here. But racing across is Alex Johnston. Souths have it back. There was, I think, Derice. Derice was the main guy. Derice, Yule, Junior, and Sanka. Souths with the ball. 65 minutes gone. Kalamatangi runs back towards midfield. Goes up over halfway on the 5th and last. Both players in the sin bin getting ready to come back on. Whiten puts it high. Corn on the Cobbo takes it on one knee. Beats the first tackle. Beats the second. And he's wrapped up by Gagai. .40 out from their own line here, Brisbane. Struggling to fire in attack. The Big D has a little bit of space again. But nowhere to go. Payne in the Haas. Puts the step on. Payne in the Haas. Finds space out wide. Gets the 6 again. Gets up. Fends off the tackle. Gets the offload back to Madden. What a great little piece of play there. Individual effort from the big Payne in the Haas. They're 30 out from the line now, the Broncos. Mam in at first receiver. Holds the pass up to Pierre Cora. They're on a roll here. This is probably their best attacking sequence all night. Tackle 3, 5 out from the line. If they spread it right, they're on. Oh, they went too soon. Mariner, one-on-one with Alex Johnston. Stands him up, and the big D flies into the corner. Has he planted it down in time? He doesn't look confident at all, the big D. It's going up as a try. But he doesn't look confident at all. He's done well, though, to get on the outside of Alex Johnston. Latrell Mitchell sweeping across. Might have just done enough to save the day. The shove from Latrell. That's a try! The big D has scored, surely. And this is another tick off the multi with 13 minutes to go. Surely that's a try. We will have 13 minutes or thereabouts, 10 or so minutes for Gagai or Corn on the Cobbo to get across the line and win this multi if this is awarded. 22 points to 4. It's gone up as a try. Will it be awarded? I don't know if it's been awarded or not. It was given. Excellent. Excellent. All right, so we've got 12 minutes to go. All I need now on the multi is Gagai or Corn on the Cobbo. The Broncos have hit back 22 points to 6. Hey, this one's not over yet. Cash out, says James. Depends what they're offering. No, I'm not going to cash out. It's a free hit. Any leg fails, cash back. So I'm not interested in the cash out in the slightest. Oh, no. The ball is dropped by Sailor. Tristan Sailor again. Another night to forget. Gamer Mel says, so annoyed. Made a big bet, combined all games this weekend. Have gotten everything so far. Just noticed Roosters versus Eels game is voided. Did you have anytime try scorers across the weekend, Gamer Mel? Rick Grimes. Hang on, is that our Rick Grimes? I thought I gave... Is this another Rick Grimes? I thought I gave our Rick Grimes moderator status on this channel on account of he does the UFC streams with me. Do we have another Rick Grimes here on the Ways to World of Sports? It can't possibly be. Fifth and last here for the Rabbitohs. 10 to go. Walker stabs the little kick in over the top. Korpiklani takes it. Oh, so one of the players has been ruled out is what's happened, Gamer Mel. Well, Gamer Mel, what you need to do is check the fine print on the bet. Who have you gone through? Sports bet? Usually through sports bet, if a leg is voided, all the other legs still stay active and they just recalculate it based on those other legs. So have they voided just that leg or your entire bet? That's what you need to look at first. South's come away with the ball. Yeah, okay. So most of the time through sports bet, if one leg is voided, then it's just that leg that's voided, and they will recalculate the payout based on what's already there and what's still to come that is still active. On the attack again here. Latrell, flick pass out the back to Tane Milne, and Milne is dumped in the tackle by Tags. Latrell dives on it, flicks it back up, and Jai Arrow now runs across field. Still tackle for the Rabbitohs. Kalaumatangi in midfield, fifth and last. They're a metre short here. Give it to Gagai. Here they go to the left. Walker, the kick through is knocked on by Jock Madden, and it'll be another full set of 6 here for the Rabbitohs on the attack. High fives all around. Pats on the back of the head. They have put on a clinic here tonight. Seven minutes to go. Scrum down here for Souths. To the left they go. Walker, and it's lost forward by the Big D. And we'll have a penalty. A penalty to Souths. They were up inside the 10. Give it to Gagai. I don't think Corn on the Cobbo is getting a try. So Jacob Gagai could be my only hope here. Another scrum down. Souths. They went left last time. They go left again. Cook to Milne. Tackle one. Just a couple of meters out. Souths on the attack. Breaking away from the tackle is Duncan. He's held up by Payne in the Haas and driven backwards with Piacora. They stay on the right-hand edge. Man was up quickly. Latrell gets away from him. Runs back towards the post, Latrell. That's tackle 3. Cook to Walker. Holds the pass up to Whiten. Whiten tries to get on the outside. He's well wrapped up. Tags and the Big D bring him down. Walker in midfield. Numbers for the Rabbitohs if they can free the ball up, and they spill it forward. 22 points to 0, but off the hook there. Dear God, Michelle might need to take out a restraining order against James. Corn on the Cobbo, goes straight through. Can he get away? No. He spills the ball forward, and now Souths go away with it. Here's Gagai, brought down. Oh, geez, both my try scorers remaining went on a charge there. And again, the Broncos lose it on tackle 1. Yeah, keep an eye on it, GamerML. It's usually how it works. They'll just void that leg, but the other legs still stand. Cook from dummy half spills the ball. He was over the line. Was going to get another one. Simple Mechanics says no chance Josiah gets a try. Certainly not looking likely. Broncos on the attack. Gobbo in midfield. Holds onto the ball this time. Payne in the Haas in at first receiver. Puts the head down. Charges forward. Some good meters there. Payne in the Haas. Yeah, tomorrow, Game ML, we've got the Super Rugby semi-final at 2:30, and that is followed up with... What games am I doing tomorrow? As Payne in the Haas again, charging forward. Ezra Mann puts the kick in for the corner, and it's the Big D who gets another one. The Big D will get a second. You couldn't have left it for corner on the Cobbo. No. You couldn't have left it for Cobbo, could you? Jai Arrow's down in a world of hurt. Son of a bitch couldn't have let Cobbo get that, could he? Oh, well, Cobbo wasn't even there. Where is Corn on the Cobbo? Maybe he's not even out on the field. It's a double for the Big D. And the Broncos hit back. 22-10, kick to come. 2 minutes remaining. It's not over. Miracles do happen. The conversion is important. It's over. 10 points the difference. 2 minutes remaining. They need to score from the kickoff, the Broncos. If they score from the kickoff, it's game on. Not much likelihood of that happening, of course. Never say never. With 2 minutes remaining. Well, in fairness to the Broncos, they haven't gone away. Like, they were never really a threat of winning this game, but they could have been absolutely thumped at the same time. I realize that will be of little consolation to Broncos supporters, but this could easily have turned into a 50-point drubbing. So, I think if you want to take positives out of the game, there would be that. Carrigan now, on halfway they are, floating the pass over, looking for the Big D again. Relying on the Big D here at the back end of the game. The kick through, finds some space, and it's lost forward by Latrell, and it will be a chance here for the Broncos. They realise what's on the line here. Quick scrum to pack down. They need to pack this scrum quickly. Inside the last minute. I mean, they could theoretically score a try here. Bypass the shot at goal. Scrum down. Broncos ball. Mam takes tackle 1. Inside the last minute. 6 again. Pain in the Heart shrugs off 1, 2. Backs away. Gets the offload to Sailor. Over to Mam. Mam puts the grubber kick through. Played up by the Rabbitohs. Offside, I would have thought. Souths have the ball. I would have thought for sure Souths were offside there. I guess he's deemed it wasn't played at. And that'll be the game. Suddenly all the cramps in the world are creeping in. The slowest play the balls you'll ever see. And South Sydney have got the victory. 22 points to 12. They'll be far from happy. I mean, they'll be content that they got the victory, of course. Naturally, they're going to be happy they got the win, but from 22-0 to 22-12, it could very easily have gone on with it and been an absolute smoky. They missed an opportunity there to really, really stomp on the throat of the Broncos. And Souths have got the win. Their next 5 games, Manly, are by the Eels, the Dolphins, the Tigers, and they could very easily win all of those. But another win on the board for Souths. Another 1 leg short. God damn it, another 1 leg fail on a multi. Yeah, it's hard to know what's going wrong with the Broncos at the moment. I put it down a lot to Herbie Farnworth was a big loss. Kurt Capewell was a big loss. And Tom Flegler was a big loss. I don't think that they really appreciate how big those 3 players were last season as the Broncos rolled into the grand final. And they were 20 minutes. They were 20 minutes of Nathan Cleary and Stephen Crichton magic from winning the premiership. Tom Flegler and Herbie Farnworth, Kurt Capewell, they were all immense for the Broncos last year. And I actually think that too much credit went to Adam Reynolds. Just personally. Not to say that Adam Reynolds hasn't contributed anything at all to the Broncos. He has. He clearly has. His game management, his kicking. But it was also his kicking that kind of let them down in that grand final as well, isn't it? I think they are missing more that penetration out. Yes, I said penetration. That penetration out wide from Herbie Farnworth and that punch up the middle from Tom Flegler. And just that consistency of Kurt Capewell. That's just my opinion anyway. Wow, 22 points to 12. It was, they kind of went to sleep too, I think, South Sydney. When they had that 22-0 lead and the Broncos kind of finished on top, momentum-wise. DJ Shaq says, I think their biggest issue is discipline. Their ball handling was really bad in this game. And Jordan Riki was an inch from receiving ejection orders for his hits. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm obviously not just speaking about tonight, DJ Shaq. I'm speaking more in general. Not just tonight. Tonight, obviously, the handling let them down big time, but it was very trying conditions. Souths had the same conditions to play with as well, and did it a little bit better. But I'm speaking more the year in general rather than just specifically tonight. All right, West World of Sports. Let's stick around and have a little bit of a general chat post-stream. But I'll have a quick break first. And be right back after this. So get your questions and topics ready. I'll be back after this to cover as much of it off as I can. 22-12, Rabbitohs with the win. Be right back after this. Wow, I tell you what, on the live ladder, the Broncos are on the very brink of the top 8 now. They are in danger of dropping out, temporarily at least. I don't think all is lost, though. Broncos, oh, geez, I really should have gone and got more drinks while I was out there. I don't think all is lost, though, Broncos supporters. I clearly see the Broncos still finishing in the top 8. Unless they really, really completely fall off the boil. If we have a look at the draw, say, just for argument's sake, if we have a look at their draw for the remainder of the season, the Broncos have coming up, okay, a bye next. Then the Warriors over in New Zealand. All right, that's a game they could potentially lose. You might have to suck that one up, Broncos supporters. And then back at Suncorp, but back at Suncorp against the Panthers. Okay, you might be in for a couple of losses in a row, potentially. But the Broncos do pretty well over in New Zealand against the Warriors, so do not count them out. That could be a true 50-50 game, that one. But I suspect that the Panthers at Suncorp will still be way too strong. Then you got the Dragons. Surely that's a win. The Knights. Surely that's a win. The Dogs at Suncorp. If it were the Dogs away, I would say the Dogs might have a chance. But the Bulldogs at Suncorp, surely the Broncos win that one as well. Then they travel to the Gold Coast to play the Titans in round 22. Yes, the Titans did get a win over the Broncos couple of weeks back, whenever it was, just recently, but I can't imagine them doing it twice. Broncos will surely win that one. And then up to Townsville to play the Cowboys. That'll be a win, you would expect. A bye, and then home against the Eels, and then at home against the Dolphins, even though it's an away game. It's at Suncorp. And then finishing off against the Storm at home. So I suspect with that draw, the Broncos, they'll still be in the 8. I wouldn't worry too much about that. They might have shot their their chances for the top 4. Potentially. They could very well have shot their chances for the top 4. DJ Shack says, so yes, my main point of conversation, Dan, is inspired by your famous Teddy athletically sized buttocks meme. In the modern era, so many of these men get dacked, and under those short shorts... Oh, are we going to talk about their like vinyl? It's obviously not vinyl. It's not made of vinyl, but those plasticky looking biking shorts that they wear. Is that where this is going? No, it's not. Okay. We're going for the budgie smugglers. There's plenty of budgie smugglers. Why do you think that is? Why do so many rugby players, both league and union, wear those togs under their kit? Okay, well, I've got an answer for this, and you might not like it, DJ Shack. There might be visuals incorporated here that nobody wants to know about, but I'm going to tell you that when I do my bike rides, I actually favour the budgie smugglers. Why was that so perfectly timed, Hamish? Hamish McKenzie, the cheeky bugger, is lurking in the chat, and he has just timed that sound effect perfectly. I prefer the budgie smugglers because it keeps all my bits and pieces a lot more secure. Like, even if you're wearing those, I'm calling them bike pants. You know the ones that I'm referring to, though. Like, they're not the budgie smugglers, but they are still rather tight. But they just don't keep things in place the same. I find that the budgie smugglers, they keep all your bits and pieces nice and firmly in place, and they don't get in the way. So, apologies for the visuals, but I mean, I would be wearing budgies if I was still playing, as opposed to the longer sides, traditional bike pants. But I noticed a few of those too, like Payne in the Haas. Payne in the Haas, he opts against the budgie smugglers. He's got the bike pant style. I don't know what they're actually called. I don't know the technical name for them, the scientific name for them. But yeah, I noticed Payne in the Haas, he wears those. But yeah, you're right. There are quite a few of the budgie smugglers floating about, and usually they're those tradie style, really extravagant colours and whatnot. Wesley Marimar says, the bottom teams will have a good game this weekend and expect the underdogs to have a great game. DJ Shack, I love them too. I've just found it interesting that so many of these men wear them on a weekly basis. Yeah, I haven't really noticed, I suppose. Yeah.
How dare you?
Well, I'm sorry. I just haven't. That was a perfect one. There had been some method to the madness. Latrell even had his own custom Connect Country budgie smuggler line. Well, yeah, well, there you go. Yeah. I mean, for me, it would just be a comfort thing.
You sound insane. Do you realize that? You should be medicated.
Just a comfort thing for me. When I do my bike rides, it's, yep. all the bits and pieces get tucked in nice and neatly, exactly where they're meant to be. No threat of them popping into places they shouldn't be treading. So I anticipate that's all that it is. It's just it'd be an individual decision. It'd be a comfort thing. I'm gathering that's probably not the only topic of conversation for the post game. Coming up tomorrow on the Waste of World of Sports.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Super Rugby semi-final number 2, Hurricanes and the Chiefs. So that means we'll be skipping the Tigers-Titans game. That's hilarious because I used the Tigers and the Titans as an example of games that I would be very upset if I had to call on legitimate broadcasting if I were offered a job. So that's hilarious. So we'll be doing the Hurricanes versus Chiefs instead of the Tigers versus Titans. And that should be over. Yeah, it'll definitely be over. So we can do the big match between the Warriors and the Storm and the Eels and the Roosters. That's actually a huge, huge double header tomorrow night.
Space!
So that's pretty cool. All right. Questions in the chat room, by the way, are not just...
Stop whining.
Questions in the chat room are not just DJ Shaq, by the way. Everyone's allowed to ask them if they would like. 22 points to 12 here, though, in this game. Rabbitohs over the Broncos. Went to sleep at the back end. Defunk says you will miss out on all the extra subs from BKR if you skip the Titans game, though. Yeah, but think about all the extra subs I'll pick up from doing the Super Rugby, Defunk. Look at it that way as well. I mean, is BK... Honestly, I don't know. I honestly don't know this guy. I usually refrain from even mentioning other streamers. Not for any other reason than I don't know them at all. I've never watched one, never even knew the dude existed. Oh no, I appreciate that, Defunct. I'm just you've got me started on a topic now, is all. Don't know them. I don't even know they exist unless I'm alerted to the fact of their existence. I just wonder, like, a lot of people come through the chat room and have negative things to say. And I just wonder why. I just wonder, like, is he that bad? Is he, well, is it justified? All the dislike. I'm just wondering if it's justified. That's all. Richard Trainer says, who's your Super Rugby team, Dan? Crusaders. Richard Trainer. Yeah. Wasn't a good year for a Crusaders fan. All right, this is another topic, I think. Mitchell, in my opinion, says DJ Shaq, Mitchell was very hard done by, being dispatched to the sin bin. He's just protecting his mate. Yeah, and hang on, I'll finish reading your comment first. And yet his punishment is on par with Ricky, who shoulder charged Murray without the ball. I don't think players should be sin bin for running in unless they start throwing punches or the brawls are continuous. Yeah, in that situation, for sure. In that situation, 100% DJ Shaq, because all Latrell did was run in and grab Ricky around the shirt collar. He didn't even shove him or anything. So I think he was indeed extremely hard done by. Look at Billy Slater. Billy Slater wearing a beanie. Beanies for brain cancer round. Of course it is. And Billy Slater, I was talking about this the other night. And some people just shouldn't wear beanies. Like, I'm used to wearing the bandana, so this is really odd for me, having the beanie on. Even though I've got an Avenged Sevenfold beanie on, I'm not wearing the actual authentic beanies for brain cancer round beanie. But yeah, some people just can't pull it off. Billy Slater looks extremely goofy wearing a beanie. As a matter of fact, I would say that Billy Slater wearing the beanie, he looks like, if I were Mario, say, just as an example, if I were Mario, Billy Slater in a beanie looks like I want to jump on top of his head and knock him off a cliff. Hamish McKenzie says, I've got nothing against gays. I've got a few friends that are. But when every company I follow wants to shit rainbows, it gets a bit much. Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Hamish, as well. I have a lot of friends, LGBTQ, A, B, C, D, F, G, H, missed a few there. I know, X, Y, Z. I can't keep up. And they also respectfully appreciate the fact that I can't keep up with all the letters and special characters that are being added constantly to that. Yeah, well, it's all agenda driven at the end of the day, isn't it, Hamish? I've got utmost respect for people's beliefs and personal preferences. Once it becomes a media driven agenda, that's when I start to have a problem with it. But anyway. (6-2) split. What do I think of the rugby bench, the 6-2 bench split? You're not a fan because you just don't dig hybrid forwards playing 12 or 13 for 60 minutes of a game if you run out of subs. Now we're talking about Union here, obviously. Yeah, look, the game's evolving, I suppose. DJ Shaq. Yeah, I mean, look, the game's evolving, I suppose, and if you've got the capability to play in multiple positions, then it can only be of benefit to your team, I suppose. It's kind of like, I think back in a way, and this is not the same thing by any stretch of the imagination, as Darren Deegan has just subscribed. Thank you very much, Darren. Cheers. I just think back to, like, when I was playing baseball, I was able to switch hit. It was still, like, it's very common now. It's almost like a mandatory skill in some respects that you switch hit in baseball. But at the time when I played, it was a rare thing, and I was able to switch hit. So if you have those capabilities, it is of a benefit to your team, because it meant that coach was able to match me up with certain pitches without the expense of another player. So there's certainly advantages. DJ Shaq, you make the exception for one team, that being South Africa, but they are an enigma in the modern game. Yeah, see, I'm not necessarily against it, but I think those sorts of things, it has to be justified. Like you have to actually have a player capable of filling in those positions. You can't just throw somebody out there willy-nilly and expect it to be the case. So, but if it's justified and you've got the players who can step into those roles, as you said, South Africa are a prime example of players that are more than capable of doing just that. So, yeah, it's kind of horses for courses sort of thing, I suppose. If you've got the players, if you've got the squad capable of doing it, then you do it. If you don't, then you go a more traditional approach. I mean, we could even look at rugby league, and we could look at State of Origin this year as an example. Like Selwyn Cobbo was on the Queensland bench, for example, and the intention was to use him in the forwards if he wasn't required, filling in for the backline. And Corn on the Cobbo's got the size and the build capable, I think, of being able to fill in the forwards. So, yeah, horses for courses, I say. Like, if you've got the squad available to you, if you've got that player or those options of a player available to you to fill that role, then you do it, and it's only going to be an advantage to you. But they have to have the skill set, the build. There's a lot of pieces of that puzzle. And as you say, South Africa, one team that certainly springs to mind that can do it. So, yeah, a little bit of horses for courses there, DJ Shaq. I don't think there is a right or wrong answer. It's just, do you have the players capable of making it work? And if you do, more power to you. If you don't try and force it. Don't try and make something out of nothing. All right, keep loading those questions up. I'll be right back. I've got to get myself some more mixer. All right, back we are. Okay. Another talking point, I guess Michelle touched on, the inconsistencies with head contact. Oh, God, opening up a can of worms. This is a big can of worms, isn't it, DJ Shaq? And it really is a big inconsistency. Like one of the biggest what are mitigating factors and what are aggravating factors. Whew. Wow. All right. Well, I think personally a pretty clear mitigating factor is a player falling into contact. See, okay, I'm obviously going to leap straight to State of Origin as one of the more recent circumstances of something that just completely blew my mind. And I'm still struggling with that decision to send Swalihi off. Just a straight send-off. 10 in the bin, we could have copped. A straight send-off. Yeah, I mean, Reece Walsh was clearly slipping. And I understand that the argument for the send-off is that, we're trying to get that out of the game. But my argument to that is trying to get what out of the game? We're never, ever going to get out of the game players falling into the contact of a tackle. And I'm going to say this as politely as possible, but there's been quite a few experts on radio and TV. But as we've discussed earlier in this stream, when people were asking me about, am I interested in professional broadcasting? And I said there's agendas and everything like that. There seems to be this this mindset that Reece Walsh wasn't falling into the tackle. I stand by my call, which I made at the time, and I still make now, having seen multiple replays. If Reece Walsh had have fallen any further into that tackle, he would have been competing in Olympic luge. He was practically, his ass was touching the blades of grass. He'd fallen so much into contact there. And then we get a situation like tonight where Cameron Murray was not falling at all into contact, gets a shoulder to the face, and it's only 10 in the bin. So where's the consistency in the calls there? One situation had a huge mitigating factor into the contact. The other situation didn't, and the situation that didn't got a lighter sentence than the one that did. So, yeah, it's impossible to keep up. I don't know. I don't even know what we do about that, because it's so... Anything that sort of has a personal judgment involved in it, I don't think you can get consistency with. Defunk says, we have a sports news show here in New Zealand called The Crowd Goes Wild. They had a replay of the sound on field of the hit on Reece's face. It was like two baseball bats hitting each other. Union has the jurisdiction. I'm going to try and speak properly. Union has the jurisdiction to invalidate mitigation of the drop in body height of the ball carrier if the player never attempts to make a legal tackle. But I didn't think that league had... Oh, no. Defunk says maybe the sound helped the ref overreact. I'll tell you, Defunk, in my opinion... I'm not telling you as facts, I'm telling you as my opinion. If any other player other than Reece Walsh was the recipient of that hit, it's a penalty. Yes, it's a penalty every day of the week. That I agree on. 10 in the bin, I can cop. Absolutely. It looked a lot worse than it actually was. But there's a couple of things, all right? First and foremost, there is not enough money in the world to convince me that Reece Walsh did not milk that. He stayed down, pretended to be knocked out, And then magically, as soon as the referee marches Swalihi, magically up he pops and goes and looks, immediately gets up and looks for himself on the big screen like he does. So as soon as that call was made, magically he's fine. And then they pulled him off for a HIA, which had to happen in the circumstances. And he's like, what? No, I'm fine. Why am I coming off the field? He milked that, for starters. So that was my first issue. And of course the fact that he was falling into the tackle. Now the other thing that Queensland have played this perfectly, and I will give them all the credit of the world in the world, all the credit in the world to Queensland. They have played this perfectly. In all the lead up to Origin 1, Queenslanders were saying, "Oh, they're going to target Reece. They're going to target Reece Walsh." There was not a single active New South Welshman that said we're going to target Reece Walsh. They were asked in interviews, Jake Trbojevic, are you going to target Reece Walsh? Oh, no, look, they've got threats all over the park. We're not going to target any one individual. Michael Maguire, are you going to target Reece Walsh? No, look, they've got threats all over the park. We won't be focusing on one individual, because if you do that, if you focus on Reece Walsh, then Hammer tears you to pieces. The only people that were coming out and saying they're going to target Reece Walsh, they're going to bully him, they're going to try and take his head off, was Billy Slater and the Queensland players. So that whole build-up was they're going to take out Reece, they're going to take out Reece. That was the narrative from Queensland. A high shot with mitigating factors on Reece Walsh, with that whole build-up influenced Ashley Klein into making that decision. Once again, this is not fact, just my opinion. I'm not for 1 second trying to present it as fact. It's just my opinion. In that whole lead up to the game, that's all we heard about from Queensland was they're going to target Reece. They're going to target Reece. So I honestly think, I truly believe, if that hit is on any other player, it's 10 in the bin. It's a normal call. The overreaction was just because of that build-up and the fact that it was Reece Walsh. 100%. And now the spill-on effect that's happened, this is what really concerns me now. The spill-on of that is that people are now going to be afraid to race up on him. People are going to be scared now to race up on Reece Walsh, because it's getting to the point, it's been so overreacted and so overblown. And you've even had, what's his face, the NRL doofus has come out and said, oh, we won't stand for this. We will protect our players and blah, blah, blah. They're going to be afraid to put hits on Reece at all anymore, because there's going to be a penalty if you touch him. So they've played this really well, Queensland, and Kevin Walters has done extremely well in doubling down on it, saying that the punishment wasn't harsh enough and that this happens all the time. And yeah, I mean, it really bothers me now that players are going to fear making any sort of contact with Reece Walsh for fear of being penalised. Anyway, you kind of got me onto a rant that I didn't want to go into. DJ Shaq says, yeah, we saw a hit tonight that was worse than Swalihi's on Walsh. There were no mitigating factors. Murray didn't even have the ball, and it was only 10 in the bin. And then to double down on how atrocious that was, of course, was Latrell Mitchell being marched for 10 just for coming in and, as you said, sticking up for his mate. There were some interesting calls all around tonight, in fairness. It was a very bizarre night. Richard Trainer says, who do you think will win the WWE Championship, Drew McIntyre or Damian Priest? Well, I would hope Damian Priest keeps the belt because he's only just won it. Damian Priest is an absolute superstar in the making. And if they take the belt off him now, geez, then you have to question what the point was in the first place. Yeah, I suspect CM Punk will get involved. The James, CM Punk will get involved, cost him the belt. All right. Wasted World of Sports. Oh, hang on. Hamish McKenzie says, hey, Dan, want to see something creepy? Take your headphones off. Well, I'm not wearing headphones. Take your headphones off and look out the door. Don't need to open it. Just trust me. Not wearing headphones, though, is the thing. All right, West World of Sports. I think I think the batteries are running down. And it might be time to take my leave in preparation for tomorrow. Tomorrow, of course, we've got the second semi-final of Super Rugby Pacific, Hurricanes versus the Chiefs, who will be joining the Blues in the grand final. And then we've got a great doubleheader in the NRL. We've got the Warriors versus the Melbourne Storm. And we've got I think it's the Eels playing the Roosters. Yeah, Eels versus Roosters. Warrior Storm, Eels, Roosters. What? He just wants to play a random sound effect, I think. All right. Whoops. Okay. I'm going.
I have Ella.
That was it. That was the whole purpose of that. All right. It was very anticlimactic, wasn't it? All right, Wasted World of Sports, thank you so much. We'll save some questions for tomorrow, I suppose. Or Discord. What is it? 10:30. Okay, yeah, it's still early enough. I might hang out on Discord for a little bit. Maybe. We'll see. I've got to eat first. God damn it, I've been hungry ever since James posted about the pork knuckle. Son of a bitch. See what's in the fridge. All right. Wasted World of Sports. Catch you guys tomorrow. Catch you on Discord if you're over there. Otherwise, yeah, see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for your company for this one. It's been a great day. Rugby Union and Rugby League all in the same day. I love it. And I'll catch you tomorrow. Yes. Cheers.
The Wasted World of Sports, eh?
Oh, he's copped a head right to the nuts. Tedesco's butt crack.
Ahoy!
He's nearly taken security's head off.
I have no idea what the Wasted World of Sports is.